I now live. I'm fixing this because it's breaking. Last minute stuff. Sorry, I got distracted. I was singing. Went up for karaoke yesterday, and I've fallen into regularity with Inside Out by Eve 6, which is super fun. And I was caught singing it again. I'm like, oh shit, it's 6. Grab bag today. Again, happy virtual Pride. Virtual Pride in Winnipeg goes from September 3rd to September 12th in 2021. Who knows what it's going to look like next year. So happy virtual Pride to everybody celebrating. And I really want to share some exciting news, but I'm going to wait. Oh my god, I want to share some exciting news. But I'm going to wait. Let's get grab bag to the point. If I appear tired, it's because I am. As I mentioned, I was singing a few songs. And at 40 years old, it's just not the same. What do you value most in a friendship? Authenticity. No question. I almost want to just go into the next one right there. Let me embellish on that because I feel it's a valuable question. So in a past life, when it came to friendships, I found myself spending so much time, and same honestly when it came to relationships, I found myself spending so much effort trying to identify a safe space in that person. And even if it wasn't a relationship, but whether it was business or anything else, platonic or intimate, doesn't matter, I was spending the bulk majority of my engagement with that person to identify if they are safe, because I would imagine that one day, someday, when I allowed myself to accept myself, I wanted to make sure that the people around me, of course, would be copacetic with that too. The challenge of that, of course, was me being incredibly guarded and non-vulnerable and expecting them to give everything. So, of course, that's bad math. But regardless, that was always important to me, and I always felt a good vibe. And it's funny too, because I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, that even when it comes to the vibe, that it's still not always an automatic, because there's usually a little vibe beside the vibe, being like, it seems fine, but here's another red flag, and you go, yeah, or whatever, or the other way around. And it's important to kind of just recognize your own behavior at those things, and even in hindsight where you're like, yeah, okay, no, that makes sense because you identified these traits and these features and whatever it would be. But what do I value in a friendship? Even to this day, it's I'm certainly not one to expect somebody to drop everything, because I don't do that for others. But I find friendship is a very exaggerated word. I was trying to think of another, I was going to use embellish, but I said that word earlier and don't want to repeat it. It's an exaggerated word in my opinion, because define friendship. Is friendship just, a mutual acquaintance that you are friendly with when you see them, twice a year? Or is it somebody that if you were on your deathbed that you can call them and trust them to pick up the loose ends, right? And where is it in between? And so I really love the question. I really wish that, and you can't ask it to be more detailed. Right? It's just unfortunate because the word friendship is so exaggerated, right? And then also what's important too is what are people's perspectives of friends? What qualifies an individual as a friend to you or not, right? Somebody remembers your name, makes them your friend. Cool, awesome, right? Good for you, right? For me, it's very much not necessarily the other way around, but I do have a radiuses in my own little personal network that you are my friend, you are my close friend, you are, and so on and so on and so on, because they're when it comes to the value, like I said about authenticity also, trust comes along with that, and so the more of both of those is the more meaningful that friendship is for you. I'm not looking for a friend to, solve all the perks, right? Or to do the things or to provide the assets or whatever, because I was saying to somebody, excuse me, excuse me. Oh, too hot. Coffee. Everything's not working. I was saying to somebody incredibly special to me just the other day, we're talking about money, and it's funny because I remember a few weeks ago there was a question that was asked to me about how important money is, and I acknowledge that the world revolves around money. Let's not take anything away from that. But the world's also a tire fire, and at this rate, one day, someday, it's not that it's not going to matter, but it's also not going to matter, because I don't want to predict a dystopian future, or I've never played the games, but if anyone's familiar with Fallout, for example, the Fallout series of games, where it's your currency is literally bottle caps, right? Currency will always exist, right? Money, as what we expect of it, is it's a social construct, realistically. But let's remove all that, and when all you have left is the people, that's, to me, what matters. I don't like to think of a dystopian future, but when it comes to what I value most in a friendship, it's who are the people that I would survive a dystopian future with, right? Who are the people that I would, do an amazing race with? Who are the people that fight a zombie apocalypse with? Whatever, right? The people who matter, because when it comes to those types of things, those people care back. Right? And that's when it really counts. Exchanging assets is a friendly thing to do, and it's not the be-all, end-all, because some people's love languages are gifts and acts of service and whatnot. I just want an authentic, honest person to be my friend, right? And obviously be reliable. That's helpful, right? And for me, it's a lot easier to ask that and expect that after I came out, because I knew that it was difficult for me to want that from somebody and not give them that in return. But now, right, I'm all in already, so I hope for that in return. Excuse me. I really it's been a day. Hiccups. Next question. That was a really good one. I'm trying to think, authenticity. Because just the more I look at it, because even thinking, do I, an ally I shouldn't have to expect to say, because I would expect a friend of mine to be an ally, and that also gets reflected in their authenticity. Right? I'm trying to, expand on that, on things that be, trans-based, but no, it just boils down to authenticity. If you agree in, reasons for allyship, it comes with your character. It's not a selling feature, pretty much. Inaction speaks just as much. So it's really easy to clean address books. Let's put it that way. Advocacy really helps clean address books. Simple as that. What things won't you compromise on? Oh, wow, that's I do not allow transphobia in my radius. I don't give permission for that. Big surprise. It doesn't matter who you are as a person. I don't allow that. And furthering that and straight up, I'll even a very, very good friend of mine, we were talking about just groups of people and whatnot, and the conversation was about me, right, because people were talking about me, and context wasn't explained, but just because of behaviors of similar groups, that on paper it'd be easy to look up front as if it was transphobia. And I called my friend out on that, because I know that they're not transphobic, but harboring that behavior doesn't make it okay. And I call them out on that, and they're like, no, it's, it's something else. I'm like, okay, right? Like, but like, I'm not afraid to be like, this is not existing, period, right? And it's like, I'm not letting that also exist in an extension of my network either, right? And expect to keep a link easily, right? That's easily something I won't compromise on. Even to the fact, like, I've never smoked, never done drugs, and it's I'm, nope. I've just never, and it's just a personal value. I'm pretty sure I've lost relationships over that in the past, but whatever. Nope. I'm trying to think if there was something else I was steadfast about. There must have been something that I was completely steadfast about that was almost hilarious. I can't remember, but it's not a serious thing. But I remember being like, no, this is the thing, and it'll come to me probably after I end the video. But yeah, what won't I compromise on? I'm not interested in discussing, right, how somebody is still a good person and they're transphobic. No. Nope. And everybody should be like that too. Do you feel like you're open-minded and adaptable? Is there anything you're set in your ways about? Well, what things won't you compromise on? Weird. I like what I like. I like what I know, and I know what I like is something that I've said often enough when it comes to food, like when it comes to restaurants or whatever. Like, really simple example, which is like minimizing the type of question, but to give it as a really good example, the only entree I've ever eaten from Boston Pizza, ever, is jambalaya. I've had different pizzas and appetizers and whatever, but if I had a meal, it's jambalaya. Because I had it, it didn't hurt me, so it worked. And like anytime I've ever been at Boston Pizza and have been paying for food and was having an entree, that's what I got because I knew that it was okay with me. And not like a dietary way or anything like that. It's just literally straight up. I was like, okay, this is an acceptable meal and call it a night. And I don't like the idea of taking a risk on something else, especially if I'm paying for it, because then if I don't like it, I'm just going to be like, oh, I wish I had the jambalaya. However, if somebody else was to be paying, I'd be more than happy to try something else. So, like, when it comes to that, when it comes to being open-minded, sure, I'll have something else, right? But, like, I don't want to do it at my expense when I know that I'm comfortable with whatever. Otherwise, when it comes to being open-minded, hi, I'm a transgender woman. It comes with the territory. Not everyone, though. Like, I'll be honest, just because somebody is trans does not all of a sudden give them, the clarity of the universe and everything is rainbows and butterflies and and like the world is magical and I see like beyond what people are and so on, because there's still an individual characteristic that comes along with that, but nothing surprises me. I always do the best that I can to, when I see something, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a person or an event or an activity or an object or whatever it would be, I find myself curious to discover the reasoning for it, like in terms of what's the context of that thing that I am currently observing. Because you can't pass judgment without understanding. And so I always do the best that I can to be open to judgment, or to open to understanding before judgment. And then similarly enough, there are many things that I just be like, I don't care, right? And just straight up shut it off, right? So it doesn't even get to the point of understanding because I'm just not interested in whatever that thing is in part of my brain, whatever it is. So it's not universal open-mindedness. I need to care about it in some sort of way to want to be open-minded, because otherwise, like I said, I just shut it off, right? And it's kind of like pretty black and white with that type of stuff. Adaptable, I feel I'm pretty adaptable, right? Like in just like in terms of making the most out of a situation. At the same time, depending on the situation, sometimes it's just outside of my comfort, and instead of being adaptable, I would rather just leave it. I could still survive through it if necessary, but you can be sure that I would be reflecting on that to make sure that I don't put myself into that same situation again. Otherwise, when it comes to, like I said, are there things I'm setting my ways about, I just answer that, so I'm not going to repeat myself, because, like, we're here. Let me expand on that, because they're not the same question. But let's just say I like routine. I like structure. I like things organized. I don't fly by the seat of my pants. I can, but I don't like it. I don't feel organized if I just kind of wing around. And I'm the farthest thing from an organized person, but there's a comfort in control. Like when it comes to my workouts, for example, it's yoga, weights, cardio. That's the order. I've tried dabbling around in different sequences and whatever, but it's like I'm happy with this, right? It works for me, and anytime that I kind of like, if I don't have enough time to do a full workout, I feel like I don't want to do just part of it, which is kind of weird, because like it's so good to just do some, but if I can't complete all of it, or at least some of each segment, it's just not a fulfilling workout. Even makeup. I've got like I'll either go naked face or made up face, right? Like I'm just like, that's how it goes. And I'm not like, I'll put some foundation on and maybe a lip balm and that'll be lots, right? I'd rather just have a naked face. So it's those types of things. I can even just like see myself in the video here. Like I dress like a Power Ranger, right? I try to accessorize as much as I can. I find super comfort in like accessorizing or like matching at all points. Like full disclosure, right? Top and bottom, those are matching. Like not jeans. I'm talking like bra and undies. It's I find comfort in like structure. So to me, that's like more about what I'm said about. I like things to just be organized, or so that I can like assess it well, instead of like trying to make sense of a spirograph's worth of information type of stuff. So that's kind of like what I'm setting my ways about. I just want to be able to understand something easily, or follow something easily, and that just goes back to the comfort in control. Yeah, that was good. I like that. Next. I put this bag so far away this time. What do you look for in a partner? A spark. Starts with a spark. Starts with a spark. Well, first I don't look for a partner, and as soon as I get the spark is when I start to not necessarily judge, but create acceptance. If there are things that just aren't automatic fun things, because often the spark won't happen if there's some compatibilities that I just know won't work already. Like I like sports, I like fitness, and I like quiet nights and whatever, right? So just being able to match that type of personality is important to me. I'm not necessarily saying that somebody needs to be a gym buff and always playing sports and always staying in, but to respect that those are my values, and to make sure that to share at the minimum some similarly natured things, right? Like if it was sports, and if she's not active, it would be great to at least, hey, come to a game, right, and spectate and just have some fun, because there's nice there's a nice thing in sharing quality time and just celebrating life's joys. And I know that for myself in a past life, that even if I wasn't playing on a team, for example, with if I was dating somebody who was playing softball, which was frequently, but if I wasn't playing the game, it was great to just spectate and just enjoy it, and then be able to say that, hey, I saw that play you did, that was awesome, or whatever. And then honestly, even then, right, to help her improve her game sometimes. Be like, I noticed you were struggling at the plate. Is everything okay, right? And this is the first time I watched you swing, and I see you're doing this or whatever. And so it's nice to share those things. And even the same when it comes to fitness, right? I'm not expecting someone to be a gym buff, but I just don't want a diet. Don't get me wrong, I love potato chips and ice cream, but I'd like to, make sure that my partner, she's interested in at least doing something like eating healthy or whatever. So I'm not always climbing uphill or whatever it be, because I like sharing the same types of meals and whatever too. I don't want to, be two different plates, under the same household. And then, quality time, like I said, is important to me. I like my quiet time, right? I certainly like going out. But I'm an introvert by nature, so I recharge at home, and I like to have that respected. And honestly, she can be extroverted and introverted. If she had to be out, for example, for whatever reason, go have fun. I'll be here, right? And similarly enough, that if she wanted to just stay in, right, it doesn't necessarily mean we need to be on top of each other's laps, right? But she could be, watching watching TV, reading a book, playing a game, sitting on the couch, sleeping, I don't know, whatever. And it's just, there's a nice piece of just being in the same vicinity. It's honestly, it's those little things. It's support when it's necessary, right? I love the, I'm not one to receive gifts. I don't like gifts. Well, I shouldn't say I don't like gifts. I actually love gifts. I just never received gifts that were meaningful. And I shouldn't say never, because they're few and far between that I've received meaningful gifts, and I beam about them when I get them, because it shows that person actually was paying attention to me, instead of just thinking that, oh, Taylor likes this, right? But it's more I see this in you, or I heard you comment about it, or whatever, and here it is. I want to get new makeup brushes, for example. I want to get some blackout blinds. I want to, I'm trying to think of some things that would qualify as gifts, right? But that would be innocuous enough that it would be oh, I heard you say that. And that'd be meaningful for me. But otherwise, it's just those little hints, hey, well, it's kind of a tough example because I'm not struggling on bills or whatever, but let's pretend I was struggling on a bill. I don't know, right? Let's pretend I was behind on a phone bill. And if, and she ended up getting a bonus or a raise or whatever it be, and everything was fine on her, and be like, hey, I know you're a couple bucks behind on your phone bill, so I just wanted to top you up. Whatever, I don't know, right? You just get surprised with, the car washed, right? Or, I don't know, it's just somebody to be independent but recognize you, be an extension of you independently, which is paradoxical. but like, to just, I don't know, just vibe. It's the vibe. And that's why the spark is important to me, because the spark is what starts the vibe. That's why I don't use dating apps, because I'm not looking for features. I'm looking for a person. And looking is, again, a stretch of a word, because I just let the vibe happen. And it'll come around when it's supposed to come around, I guess. Because it's tough as a trans woman, because well, I'm into girls, and I feel that, like, I feel like it's still a lot for many women to accept, and I don't mean that in a transphobic way, because, like, by definition, it is transphobia. I do understand that it's difficult. I'm not saying it's okay. Those aren't my words. But I understand that it's difficult to process that, you might have a spark or whatever. And it depends on both sides. Like, that, well, like, again, I'm not in the dating scene, and I know I'm visibly trans, and so I can say that if there was if there was a gal out there who fancied me, who expected things to not be taped back, that's a compliment to me, I guess. But again, right, like, I get it. And then I even think of people who knew me pre-transition. Like, I don't know. So I just look for someone who looks past that and just love is love, right? I love Taylor. Period. Those are the things. Right? I'd like to say I've got dealt a pretty good hand in a lot of ways. So I just hope that, what I would want in a partner is they just see me for me. I know it's such a cliche, rhetorical type of answer, but what else am I supposed to want in a partner? I don't need, well, like I talked about earlier, I don't need somebody with money. I'm not going to argue, right, sacks of cash, but I'm not looking to be showered with gifts. I'm not looking for somebody to spoil and pamper me. Like, don't get me wrong, those aren't bad things, but I just want somebody to see my heart and want my heart to be part of their life, and they love me for who I am, what I do. They're proud of themselves for being beside me. They're excited for me for my accomplishments and my achievements and the resume I continue to build, and to just have fun, right? Some nights stay in and do jack shit. Some nights we play video games. Some nights we go out. Some nights we don't leave the bedroom. Whatever, right? Like, just live. And that's all I can really want in a partner. Right? Like, I'm the type of person who's pretty easy with my partner, because I like to learn and discover them and see what makes them tick and try to satisfy their needs as necessary. And all I can want is just something similar in return. It's the least I could ask for. 6:30. That was kind of somber, so I want to see. I don't want to like. That was a beautiful question. And what else do I want for in a partner? Somebody back me up. I want somebody who doesn't just love me for me, but it's an ally too. They don't need to be on 24/7 because it's exhausting. I get it. But if they know that I'm working on something and I need that voice amplified, it's not even a question. So, that too. I'm going to slide in one more. Oh, I can't wait to share that exciting news. Favorite season? Winter, summer, fall? I have always enjoyed winter. It's just I bias automatically to winter, largely because I get hot, hot. So I don't mind it. There's just something nice about the snow crunching. I don't know. There's just a lot of fun sensations and whatever that just come with winter. But like, is it my favorite? I wouldn't move to the North Pole. Fall's nice. We're getting close to fall. I like the temperature and whatever, but sometimes it just gets like kind of gray and soppy, and spring is just dirty. Like spring. I don't like spring until there's one hard rain, right? Clean all of like the winter's salt and mud and whatever away. But like once winter's cleaned up, then spring is nice. Fall is. I like the leaves falling and whatnot, but it's also it's a little bit depressing because you're looking at the trees. They're not dying, right? But there's like just how they're shedding themselves. I don't know, every season's got something nice, but favorite season, like if I just had to pick something because of some drastic reason, winter. Even though you can do 1,000 more things in summer. At least here, especially here, like in Winnipeg, the weather is extreme. So it's like when it's summer, you're sitting on the sun, and when it's winter, you're thawing still by the time summer comes around. So it's it takes some thick skin to live in this neck of the woods, that's for sure. That was a fun question. Time flies. I really liked those series of questions there. It's funny, like those were some two really intimate questions, and I appreciate them. But what you look for in a friendship and what do you look for in a partner? Those were super nice, and all of them were. That was an awesome mix. Waiting to get, like I said, just a little more info before I can share some really exciting news. So, subscribers to Hire Weller, will see it in their email. I will be making sure to promote news as necessary. Good things, good things. Keep those questions coming, right? And happy Virtual Pride Week. I hope everyone stay safe, have fun, enjoy your pride, and we'll catch up with everyone else next week. Bye.